Welcome to Cultural Ecology. I put this quote up as a kind of introduction to our thinking, or my thinking, as I've reframed this class a bit from the way I haven't taught this class in a while. And this version is quite a lot different than the way I used to teach it. I did once teach a book with this author in it. It was The Arts of Living on a Damaged Planet, which I contemplated assigning to this class. It's kind of an interesting collection of essays, but decided to move into some other materials. But at the end of this book, Dorian Sagan, whose name may be familiar, has some very famous parentages from the science world, and I might be pronouncing name wrong, but gave an interesting idea about, instead of waging wars for oil, aren't fun, we should study what sorts of communities thrived in the Pliocene, the last time the temperature was 3 degrees Fahrenheit higher. We should find what sorts of plants build topsoil at higher altitudes and prepare to plant them as glaciers recede. And he's not arguing that we should be excited about 3 degrees Fahrenheit higher. I mean, it's not good. He basically says that we should be worried but not panicked, and we certainly should have a lot of worry, but it may not be the best thing to be always worried, right? What are we going to do except try and do good things in the world? And the reason I wanted to start this class off this way is to think about in your own life and what your own instead of is. I mean, probably you are not personally waging a war for oil. And for those of you who've maybe, I guess one time I tried to campaign for politicians who did not want to wage wars for oil, but it didn't work out that well. We like to wage wars for oil. It's hard to stop them as people, right? It's very difficult as us individuals to just say, oh, I'm not going to wage a war for oil. You know, we can try not to go there and fight it, but, you know, it's hard to stop them if they're going to do it. But we can at least, I think, in our own lives, think about, well, what can we do instead of what we might be doing? And for me in this class, it was, instead of teaching things that are more, I would say, philosophically oriented. So this class at one point had it just got really heady. It went way up into the heady world of headiness and got very complicated. And I will admit, when I saw your names on the roster, I thought, maybe I could do that again. They're smart, they can handle it. But something about me pulled that back a little bit and said, no, what we need to do is something, I don't know if I want to say it is more practical, but simply that we don't have time in some ways. We have to, the issues are more urgent than they were maybe 5, 10, 20 years ago. And so we have to think about them. Now, that's not going to say, I'm not trying to say that we won't do some philosophy and sort of big picture stuff. I'm all about big picture things, but I want to think about the ways in which we can take this stuff and do something with it. Maybe not literally getting plants that we can plant up in the glaciers, but who knows, you know, something in that frame of mind. So I've changed up all the books. What I once did, got out of the philosophical mode and got into more just down to earth, you might say. So the first book we'll read is a textbook by Emilio Moran. It's the 4th edition of Human Adaptability, an Introduction to Ecological Anthropology, which is pretty practical. I mean, it's very textbook. So there it is. I actually have not received my paper copy of it yet. I'm working online with it, and I listen to it as an audiobook. I have a paper book coming, but seems to be okay. We will follow that up by reading Fresh Banana Leaves, Healing Indigenous Landscapes Through Indigenous Science, which I believe is important to juxtapose to our textbook, because if Emilio Moran is all about the science, I think we need to understand indigenous science and how the voices and knowledge of people who have been in these landscapes can help us understand maybe those glaciers and things like that. And then we'll end with The Promise of Multi-Species Justice, which is an edited volume. So that will give us different perspectives. That will probably be the most philosophical, perhaps the most difficult to read. And I don't even know, some people who have seen this book list ask me what this is about, and I'm not quite sure what it's about, but I think I want to know. This is what I think it's about. I'm imagining in my head that it's about, which is that, you know, like, for one thing, why should we always prioritize human beings in any landscape, right? I mean, are we really always the most important creatures of every place we're in? So that's part of it. But I think maybe we are. I don't know. I like human beings, you know. We don't. Oh well. No. Lisa, you're studying sociology and anthropology. You can't be that down on human beings. If you're that down on human beings, you have to study something else. Like let's see. Like straight up biology, you could just do anything but human beings. Okay, so are human beings the most important? But maybe even if we grant that human beings have an importance, which they do, we do. Humans are important. You know, people get all excited about invasive species, and you know, so should we really kill all the foxes because they're killing the penguins? Which is what they were trying to do, according to my daughter in Australia. They had a big anti-fox campaign because the foxes were eating up the little penguins. And, you know, it sounds bad, but I don't know. I mean, do we really not like foxes that much? You know what I mean? I mean, who's to decide? Or goats, like on the Galapagos Islands, should we really be gunning down the goats with helicopters just because they're eating the turtle eggs? I mean, I think so, probably. I think turtles are more important than goats, but who's to decide, right? So I'm not sure if this is going to answer any of my questions, and I'm not even sure if the book is about, but here we go, multi-species justice, because if you think about more than humans, then you get into some thorny issues. Not sure if this is, well, that's very practical, yes, goats versus tortoises.